Hey, Kadja Joe Gore here for apophatic fooding. Apophatic, an unusual Greek word that talks about what God is not. So we talk about cosmopolitan issues, big subjects, and look at them from perspectives of what they're not used to looking at them for. Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, a guy named Voltaire, Katie Bryan, everybody's got interesting points that we could all benefit from, all while we're cooking great stuff on apophaticfooding.com. Hey, Kadja Joe Gore here for Apophatic Fooding. Welcome to Da Dome, just outside of Marietta, Georgia. Free Will is the name of this building. And you'll see in these programs where that name comes from and why it has purpose. Apophatic fooding, pretty unusual. The fooding part of today's program is a really nice, simple, New York-style deli bagel. The apophatic part of today's program is love and war. Lots been written about it, but not the way you're going to hear about it today. Love. There's really only one kind. That's unconditional love. We'll be talking more about that. Not the kind of love that Donald Trump has with 700-page prenuptial agreement. We're talking more about the Romeo and Juliet kind, where nothing you do matters except that you love the person you're in love with. Is really more common to women and their children. After that, it gets tough. But let's get on with the bagel part, the fooding part of apophatic fooding. Bagels, like every other food, have quality issues. There are different quality bagels. Looks like a piece of bread with a hole in the middle. Not necessarily so. They're really made, the good ones are boiled first so that the outside gets firm, and then they're baked so they get a nice chewy dough. I don't know the details, but that's what I read, and I'm interested in buying a good bagel, not making a good bagel. So here we go. Let's see if we can get a little bit of technology in here. Okay, we got the bagel, a good one. You find a good sauce. Here in Atlanta, we got places like Einstein's that'll make good bagels. If you got the ones in most supermarkets, leave it there. Don't buy it. It's bread in the shape of a bagel. Not fair. Send them a message. Let it sit there. Go find it. A good one. The point is, you only have to look once. Yeah, it's a little trouble whether you go to a different part of the supermarket, the gourmet section or the fresh bread section, or whether you hunt it down at some location that makes good ones. But once you've got it, that work's done, and you just go after them. So the bagel is, I don't know, it was invented in New York, but the style of it basically is you toast it, and of course, there are different types of bagels. The plain bagel, and of course, you've got salted bagels, poppy seeds, and then the garlic. The ones I like, everything bagel. It has everything on it. Tons of flavor and taste, and probably more sodium than I want to know about. But it's the way I like it. You pick the one you want. There are no rules. Two bagels walking down the street. What happened to one of them? It got assaulted. All right, I know. Bada boom. Hey, I didn't make these things up. They come off the internet, okay? But now we've got the bagel about ready to start getting toasted and loaded. One of the more common, or very common, is lox, smoked salmon. Nice, expensive, again, if it's a good quality. And the affectionate schmear, a schmear of cream cheese. Then, from here, we agoraize it. Don't take it like they give it to you in the deli necessarily. Take it that way if you like it. But there's better. I'm going to show you how. But We started talking briefly a little bit about the subject of love and how unconditional love is really the only kind of love. Because if you got the average relationship where, yeah, your toes are twingly and you're walking on clouds and you're in love and get married and young, all very nice. But when you say till death do us part, if that's part of today's ritual, behind the scenes is really, I'm going to love you and you love me if we supply each other with what we either been doing or promising. That's a condition. All one has to stop doing or perceive to stop doing any one of those unwritten rules, which of course Donald Trump has pages of written rules, prenuptial agreements, which are probably becoming more popular, but this old geezer never went that route, thankfully. And so if you start breaking the rules as you grow and evolve, it's almost impossible to not. Then you can see the difference between unconditional love, which is typical for a woman towards her children. That child was ripped from their body, suckled, raised every minute of their youth. How many times do you see unconditional love with the women? You see, they grow a teenage boy and the guy gets caught up with something bad. Oh, my babies are good. He just got caught up in the wrong crowd. No, he was the wrong crowd. But she can't see it. It's her baby. Probably not a bad thing in the big picture. There's balances in play, like the old man. Anyway, we'll move on. But it's something to talk about, the critical thinking part. Take it up, think about it, research it, talk about something serious rather than the weather next time you're at a party or whatever. Bagels. Whoop. We'll change that direction quick. Let's talk about what goes on the bagel. Well, cream salmon is the first item, or lox, of course. Now, lox, like everything else, comes in different qualities and sizes. The more normal one, let me get that for you, is the classic wild, or in this case, wild Alaskan smoked sockeye salmon. Good stuff, expensive, good, got plenty of it. Peel off some, lay it on. How does Agoraize it to keep it less expensive? I got one of these supermarkets near me. Best thing I ever seen. They sell Nova Lock salmon trimmings. Let's see, get it into the picture here. So basically, it's trimmings of the lox, dirt cheap, a tenth, a fifth of what it regular costs. Hello, I'm going to cut it up and put it on this meat sandwich anyway. So, what do I care if it's in small pieces? Not even talking about what it looks like after my first chew or two. But you wind up with putting lox. We'll make a plate the way you kind of get it in a restaurant. Get a nice plate. We'll toast these guys up. Let me get them in a toaster. Voila. And then we'll put some lox. We'll even cut them a little bit thinner. That's one of the secrets of getting some flavor out of these guys. And they'll build a sandwich, in my case, bite by bite, rather than load it up, chew it, and have it fall apart on you. Not necessary. So now we got a little bit of the salmon. Now we move to the schmear part. Cream cheese. Traditional. Not bad. Not too healthy, but not too bad. One low-fat alternative. How do you even say this? Neufchâtel. Neufchâtel cheese, a French word. Neufchâtel. Which is 33% less. Act, smells, tastes almost the same. You got to be pretty discerning to be able to tell the difference. Schmear that. What this codger likes, his life is about brown rice and olive oil, which I can't work into this the brown rice. Can't make a brown rice bagel yet. But I wound up taking some olive oil. When that guy comes popping up, I smear the olive oil on or drip it on the bagel. And then, because I always have cheese around, how many of us are not cheese nuts? And asigo, a nice cheese, somewhat like a Swiss cheese, a little bite on it, etc. Get some Swiss cheese instead of cream cheese. Mainly because you have it. There's nothing wrong with either one. But whatever you got in the fridge, there's no reason not to enjoy a wonderful bagel, cheese, salmon. And now comes the accoutrements. Wonderful taste and textures and colors we're going to add to this. You got onions. Traditionally, you put a slice of onions. I'll go get a red onion. I've got Vidalia sweet onions, whatever's around. Even a good old-fashioned, sulfur-laden, sharp onion will work. Cut them slice and thin. Tomatoes. To date the show, it's late August. There's tons of tomatoes out. Everybody's giving them away. Nice, ripe, tasty tomatoes. Still agorizing them with cherry tomatoes. Why cherry tomatoes? They're actually more nutritious and they're more versatile. I can use them in salads. They stay much longer than a regular tomato or a cut tomato. Red onion. Looking good. Keep these guys thin. You don't offend anybody. Again, one of the few dishes that I can't sneak garlic into. Actually, I could probably rub it onto the bagel, but that everything bagel has got so much taste up to it already, so much flavor and texture. Get this guy. Nice little brown spots, perfectly toasted. Remember, I said I was gonna give it a little olive oil instead of a traditional schmear. Some cheese instead of cream cheese. Onions, I usually leave them on the side. Pick and pull them out the way you want. As much as you want. Capers. Very nice. A little bit bitter, tangy, earthy kind of tasting. Don't use them much in a lot of other cookings, but you could. It's just a matter of learning the spices and other things we put in food, which I got to admit I haven't gone too deep in that area. But then I came across caper berries. The capers, the traditional ones you get probably in most restaurante, would be these nice little balls. Let's see if we can't get them in the picture. Let's see if my assist on the remote cameras. There you go. Got it. Thank you. We got capers. And then how do you gorize it? Make it a little bit better, a little bit different, if you can find them. Caper berries. Oops. Now I need a man around the house to open these jars. Well, a good woman will do, not to be sexist. Look at these nice big guys. Cut them up. Just about the same taste, but a different texture. Like little seeds inside. Vinegary. I like vinegary and bitter. A lot of people are just into sweets. But have it your way. There are no rules. Not in life, not in the kitchen, not in love, not in war. We said we were going to talk about war also. You know, really gets to me. You got the peaceniks, give peace a chance and everything. Yeah, until the guy comes over and punches you in the face, knocks out your teeth, and not so much for the the peace part of it. What are you going to do? Can be a Buddha and just take it. But if he kills you, that's even less fun. But the traditional wars we've been fighting, like the Iraqi ones, I'm annoyed with the Vietnam era vets that I was from. I'm not a vet, but you figure with all the damage and all the pain, wouldn't they be smart enough to really put up a voice against doing these wars over again? And that is a peace, Nick. Here's the one word to solve future wars. I can't stop the last ones. One word, which is one cruise missile. Vocational high school can't count. All these countries that don't like us and we don't like them, and they're sending their soldiers to kill our people. They all have their congresses, their assembly halls. And they have their meetings, and those are the people who decide these things. So the next time, we know when they're meeting, just like they know when our Congress is in sessions. Can't be a secret. The day before they meet, one cruise missile, boom. Building ain't there anymore. What's the message? We could have done it tomorrow when you were in session. That will make their undies brown. That is the answer. Rather than sending hundreds of thousands of our boys and girls getting blown up, go to the head of the snake, play a chess game, go to the king. That's what the whole chess game was about. It was a game of war. In medieval times, they teach their people how to fight and strategize. The problem was you give up your pawns and your lieutenants to save the king and queen. And once you got the king and queen, you won. One cruise missile. Think about. Tell me what's not true about what I just said. Joe at apophaticfooding.com. Serious enough subject to give it some thought. But back to what I like, food. Food. You gotta see what we're gonna eat in Hawaii. My daughter's getting married in Hawaii in a few weeks. I don't normally wear loud shirts like this. Not too comfortable in it. But gotta make your girl happy. Unconditional. Unconditionally happy. So we are pretty close to having a pretty nice lox and bagels here and everything. I tend to like greens. I wanted some tomatoes cut onto here. And today I don't happen to have kale. I'm a kale man person. And I would normally put some kale on here or some lettuce. You'll get that kind of stuff in the restaurant also. Usually some, what's the word, iceberg lettuce or something less expensive, and almost always left on the plate. Ain't nothing left on the plate when I go to eat. That's a religious or spiritual thing for me. But remember, there are no rules. You can have lox, bagels, cheese, cream cheese, veggies, kind of the way you like it. Open up. Think about what you have in your refrigerator or what you like more. Maybe that's why you don't go out and order this stuff. I don't blame you. Do I need to go out, wait in line for a seat to be given a bagel and a schmear when I can do this at home? Better. Hey, so what are you, crazy or what? Anyway, I know, don't quit your day job. Anyway, that's about the nature of it. With kind of, like I said, either make it into a big sandwich and put the top on it and eat it, or be gentrified. This is not really the real me, but on camera you kind of gotta, don't want to get slapped in the head by whoever you're with. This is good. Like your mother said, don't talk with your mouth full. Nice cup of coffee. Can't really think of a wine pairing. Now, Bloody Mary, I can deal with that. That's goody. So either way, Codger Joe has brought you bagels, a couple of things to chew on emotionally, critical thinking, and that's what apophatic fooding is about. An apophatic part. What something is not. Think about what war is not, what love is not, rather than what it is, because it's too easy to argue over what something is. Eliminate it. Look at it from a different perspective. It'll make you feel happier. The truth is closer to that. Anyway, that's about it for now. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and I did, as I go into finishing this, I'll do my, what I call conscious thanks. I'm conscious of the forces and the people it took to get this food in front of me. I'm thankful and deserving. Think of all the people it took to get this stuff in front of us, and we just drop a few bucks and go get it. Be thankful. Thank you, and we'll see you for another apophatic fooding. Be well.